On the Fringe with Dan Radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. To bomb or not to bomb? That is the question. It really is right now. We've got a lot of questions, but certainly a big reminder to all of us is we are in the middle of a fight with the deep state. Big time. This is the time the world eradicates the deep state. So personally, just throwing it out there, I have huge faith in what Trump is doing. I don't know all the stuff he knows. I don't know all the details. What I do know is there is a butt ton of people talking about this like they have inside knowledge that they do not have. We're seeing reports coming out. Wall Street Journal is just one good example, and Trump had to come out and like, what does the Wall Street Journal know about what I'm thinking? Nothing. Yet they've got sources. I saw a rather popular source sharing a Reuters article talking about how they had some sort of insight knowledge. It's like Reuters doesn't know shit. Axios doesn't know shit. Politico doesn't know shit. None of these organizations know anything. In fact, if anybody's going to maybe have an inkling, and it's not because I like the organization, but they're more friendly to the Trump administration, maybe Fox News. So we've got a lot going on right now. There's a lot of misinformation intentionally being done, by the way. This is a PsyOp, unquestionably. And many would be like, but why? Why wouldn't they just tell us? Because the Iranians can't know. Because the deep state can't know. Because China can't know. There's a whole bunch of people that we don't want knowing what we're doing. So that is all going to play out. We got a bunch of news to share. I want to remind you guys, music-wise tomorrow, I should have brought this up probably earlier in the week, but whatever. I am inspired by Jethro Tull. I got a good request from somebody, and I was like, that'd be a fun one to do. The rock star that plays the flute. It's actually a trip. So we're playing 3 of his songs and then kind of a bunch of 70s kind of classic rock type stuff. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great songs. And there's one song that I'd never heard that I listened to, and I'm like, dude, this song's cool as hell. So I'm going to play it. Some of you guys will probably know the band. Most of you won't. It's a pretty bitchin' song. So that's going to be mixed in with everything as well. Today we're doing Law of One sessions 25 to 26. Hopefully you guys will join us at 3 p.m. My show will barely be uploaded in time, most likely, but some of you will catch that. But if not, watch it after. You don't need to be there live per se if you want. I do take questions in the middle and at the end. And so it's worth showing up because you can ask questions, and generally speaking, I do a pretty decent job answering. But you never know. All said, let's get the ball rolling, folks. Oops, there it is. We got some interesting news to start with here. This is like conspiracy in a nutshell. Someone broke into so remember the 2 Minnesota lawmakers that got shot by that dude? I forget his name. Butler, whatever. Butler, yeah, there it is. Wow, that's a good guess. Someone, not him, he's in jail. Somebody broke into this house. Supposedly, nothing was stolen. That should cause a lot of you guys to trip out because something's not right there. They went in through a back window. They broke a window, too, which had a wood panel on it. I don't get that at all either, unless it was just maybe partially broken, and then they broke it further so they could get inside. I don't understand why it had wood on it. They broke in. Family members didn't see anything missing. Something's up here. Something doesn't feel right. Butler's got a weird track record, and this is one of the things we're finding out. His device, there's a device. They did a geofence around where his farm is. They found a very specific device that seemed to be in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out all the time of this particular location. Could have been Butler's, could have been someone else's, could have been someone working with him, who knows? Could have been someone just trying to frame this guy. I mean, that's not hard to do either. You could be a friend of an individual, and you show up at their house over and over and over, and then do something scandalous, and, well, it could end up looking like Butler did it. Now, I do think Butler's guilty. Don't get me wrong. We'll see. He's going to get his day in court. But it's interesting. So this geofencing, they found this very specific phone or device. It'd been located in places like Africa, Nepal, Washington, D.C. This thing has been all over the place. They also found out there was 3 shadowy organizations that he was a part of. Minnesota Africans United, Reformations Ministries, and You Gave Them Something to Eat. Each of these entities raises red flags and invites the question, were these legitimate operations or merely front groups masking more nefarious activity? Oversight Project's the one that's kind of dug a lot of this stuff up. And they said, quote, first we located the device, ADID, had traveled in the vicinity of Boulder's farm, this same area where there was a police helicopter tracing his family's residence near Green Island, Minnesota, before his arrest. We also followed all travel in and around the Minneapolis region. What's more interesting is the amount of international travel linked to this device. Like I said, Africa, Nepal, Turkey, India, Dubai. This device tracking happened all over the world. They also visited some major U.S. cities such as Washington, D.C. and Chicago, the Chicago Yacht Club, of all places. And I don't know why that's significant. I mean, cool. You guys got rich friends probably was working with someone wealthy. Chicago's also notorious for evil stuff, as well as D.C. So the fact that he was apparently meeting with some very wealthy individual, most likely if he's at the yacht club, very strong chance there was somebody Obama-esque maybe over there. So why is the Minneapolis shooter Vance Boulder, someone close to him, doing so much travel abroad and to D.C.? This device activity seems to comport with Boulder's suspicious international NGO connections. And why were there talk of a manifesto, but now all of a sudden it's apparently being covered up? A lot of questions about this whole situation. This individual was most likely either an MK Ultra kind of situation, which again, it's evolved to something new. I just call it MK Ultra. That's what it was, back in the 70s, I think, late 60s, somewhere around there. So a lot of things have changed, obviously, since then. They don't really have to use MK Ultra like they used to in the olden days. They used to have to actually hypnotize people and do a lot of crazy stuff like that. They don't need to anymore. Now they just use TV and social media, by the way. Just flickering the screen at you in the proper way can get a lot of people dialed in, and then you can actually put in subliminal stuff in there, and most people wouldn't even realize it, and that can actually program. Again, there's a lot of things that the CIA has learned, and most people, especially when you're kind of mindless or not in control of your own thoughts, if you will, it's very easy to lead somebody astray. It seems Boulder's got a lot of very interesting information attached to him. Whether we find out more, we'll see. We'll see. What I'm calling a good start, we got some arrests going on. Nothing new, just kind of wanted to highlight some of the past arrests that we've, recently passed, I guess. So these are the Democrats that have been arrested for interfering with federal immigration. We got Senator Alex Padilla, Democrat from California. We saw him. He was handcuffed for interrupting a news conference that Kristi Noem was involved with. By the way, she ended up in the hospital, too, a couple days ago, I think it was. They said it was an allergic reaction. They put her in the hospital just for, abundance of caution. Supposedly she's fine, but that said, that happened. Brad Landler, New York City comptroller and a Democratic mayoral candidate. He was arrested Tuesday, June 17th. We played that. That was the reporting where they finally walked him into the elevator. Raz J. Baraka, mayor of Newark, he was arrested. We remember that. That was, I think, the first one. And then, of course, brought in LaMonica McIver when he was there. And then Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, she was also arrested. We remember that one. She's no longer going to be a judge anymore. So wanted to celebrate while we still can, right? DHS imposes new restrictions for lawmakers, congressional staff at ICE facilities. This is good. Obviously, it ties into what's been happening lately. So the Department of Homeland Security is tightening the rules for lawmakers seeking access to immigration and customs enforcement facilities. Under new guidelines, members of Congress must now coordinate visits in advance, with staff required to give at least 24 hours notice. While the DHS says it still respects lawmakers' rights to inspect detention centers, the policy now blocks unapproved visits to ICE field offices altogether. Can't just pop in, surprise visit. First off, that's not your job as a congressman. Sure, you get oversight, but you don't get to just pop in whenever you want. That's not how that works. You're not a like Secret Service or secret cop or secret something, right? So this change comes after several confrontational incidents, including a May protest in Newark, where 3 Democratic members of Congress were arrested. We just talked about them. So we'll see what happens from that. I'm sure that'll piss off a number of people, which is always fun. LA District Attorney announces charges against 30 people over anti-ICE protesters. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman, said in June 17th that charges have been filed against 30 people in connection with recent protests in downtown Los Angeles. There's a few of them that he calls out here. Let's see. Latest charges were brought against individuals who wanted to commit crimes and looked at the protest as cover. Charges will include assaulting police officers, using destructive devices to cause injury, and looting. So Hochman and William Rubio, 23, he's among those charged. Rubio faces 2 felony counts, assault on a police officer and use of a destructive device to injure or destroy, after allegedly throwing fireworks at officers during the demonstration in Los Angeles. Police allegedly found 20 individual fireworks in Rubio's backpack, including 11 M1000s. M1000s are equal to a quarter stick of dynamite. That's a big deal. You could blow off someone's foot with that. He faces up to 8 years and 8 months in prison if convicted. Again, not guilty until proven guilty, right? We're only assuming. We're putting him in jail. Guy's got a lot of stuff on him, so I don't know how he's going to get out of that, but whatever. Another person, 39-year-old Adam Palermo. He was charged with 4 felony counts of assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer and 1 felony count each of arson and vandalism. Margaris said Palermo is accused of throwing a rock at officers at California Highway Patrol and participating in the arson of a CHP vehicle that was parked on the freeway. If convicted, Palermo faces up to 9 years and 8 months in state prison. California Highway Patrol officers arrested an unidentified demonstrator during protests on June 10th. David Pache, Middle East Images. What's this? 3 other cases were highlighted by Hochman's. Oh, it's just that. Sorry. Let's see. 3 other cases were highlighted. Terrell Tillis, 30, charged with 1 felony count of possession of a firearm by a felon and 1 misdemeanor count of giving or receiving a large capacity magazine. Antonio De La Rosa, 44, was charged with 1 felony count of discharge of a laser at an aircraft. Eddie Lee Baldwin, 39, was charged with 1 felony count of second-degree commercial burglary after allegedly forcing his way into an Apple store in Los Angeles and looting items. So I think that picture I showed yesterday of the 5 iPhones, or 2 days ago, whenever it was, the 5 iPhones sitting on the curb, I'm like, wow, they're not broken or anything. How weird is that? I wonder if they got them off somebody or if they just left them on the ground. I'm pretty sure this is the dude they got him off of. Looks like the dude maybe took 5 of them and got busted. Cops found him immediately and say goodbye. So defendants, of course, are presumed innocent unless and until they are proven guilty in a court of law, so that's good. But he added that 99% of the individuals who protest against ICE operations did so legitimately and peacefully. And I'll agree with that. That 1% will screw everything up, though. That 1% who needs to be dealt with. The 99% of you who have 1% effing everything up, if you guys kind of get riled up and start doing illegal stuff, well, then you become part of that 1%, don't you? And you will end up in jail. You will make a mistake that will cost you dearly. So, again, this is part of the thinning process that needs to occur. Boulder fire attack suspect has been charged with a hate crime. I don't know why this was such a hard thing to do. His lawyer was arguing that his client targeted the demonstrators because of their perceived political views, not their religion. Bro, that's a hate crime no matter how you slice it. I don't care. I know typically hate crimes are towards religion, creed. Creed actually would fall into political views, I think, but religion, race, sexual orientation, right? Those are the standards. But creed's typically thrown in there. Well, political views are a creed, essentially. So just because somebody thinks a certain way, it's okay to attack them. That's not a hate crime. I only hate political people. Huh? It's still a hate crime, douchebag. And I'm glad you burnt the shit out of your stupid self, so that's fantastic. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna. Yeah, rolls off the tongue. Called for the same. Rep. Wesley Hunt calls for George Soros to be subpoenaed over election interference. Let's check out this little bit of a snippet here that they were talking about this.
Or because of the census. We had Anna Paulina Luna on the other week, and she said she's going to be calling for George Soros to come in. She's going to subpoena George Soros and have him come in and testify. And it's time for him to answer for his crimes against humanity here in this country. You're also on the Judiciary Committee with APL. Do you agree with this?
Of course, I agree with this. I mean, George Soros has been a problem for this country for a very long time, and he has interfered with our elections. He has funded Democrats down to the county level in order to flip counties and flip cities. We know for a fact that he is responsible for a lot of the mayhem that we have seen happen all over our country. We know he is probably somewhat responsible for the summer of love that we saw take place and ravage our country a few years ago. So when I think about even this map, what it looks like and how the free state of Texas and the free state of Florida are certainly leading from the front, what you have to understand is people are coming to our states and they're fleeing here because these are conservative states that President Trump won by over 10 points. This goes back to them being rudderless. If Trump is the boogeyman, and if he is so bad, why are people fleeing the states that he won overwhelmingly? Why?
Yeah, and again, it's just, things suck bad is where it's at.
Or
Byron?
because of the census.
Is this Byron Donaldson? Who is this guy? Oh, is that Wesley? Oh, Wesley Hunt, I guess maybe is his name. Okay, whatever. He's, I think, tied in with Texas. I'm guessing with what's going on in the background there. Good stuff, though. Again, I want to remind you guys, Healthy Home, great products. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. It's reminded me I need to take my STEM Active for the day. I got my collagen peptide already. And earlier, I, of course, did my energy from my wonderful Prime. I love this stuff. Love it. It's actually kind of tasty. I don't know, there's something weird about it. And every once in a while, I don't know, like I notice, like the smell of it, like it maybe comes out of my pores a little bit, but it smells good. So I don't know, like it makes me smell fruity maybe, which is not necessarily a real manly scent, but I realize it's this stuff and it's in me and it's helping. So I don't know, it's powerful. Stem cells, though, are what do the healing in your body. As we age, stem cell production slowly decreases. There are a lot of people that go and get stem cell injections, and you can. They're pretty expensive, best I understand, and they also use fetus stem cells. So they basically take aborted fetuses and get the stem cells from them and then jab those into you. Awesome. This doesn't do that. This actually just helps your own body produce more stem cells, 25 to 40%, and it does it within a very, very quick period of time, like I don't know, many minutes, right? So STEM Active Gel, it's a liquid. It's one quick way to get it in there. STEM Active is the pills. It's what I personally prefer. I like it. It's just easier. The liquids are fine. You have to cut it off and then, drink it. The peptides are liquid. Whatever. If they made that in a pill, I'd probably take it in a pill. I think pills are easier to take, frankly, than the liquids. But the liquid actually gets in your body quicker, so I think I'm backwards on this, to be honest with you. It's just ease for me. I'm lazy. Balance is another product for ladies. If you're going through that change, and I don't want to act like I know what that change is, and I don't want to say it to your face because I didn't notice. I didn't notice that you're constantly hot, constantly cold, constantly hot. No, didn't see that at all. Or the fact that you get a little grumpy every once in a while. No, I didn't notice that at all. The fact that you can't sleep at night, I haven't noticed at all. The fact that you keep kicking me out of bed and making me sleep on the couch, nope, haven't noticed at all. A lot of ladies are saying balance has helped. It's helped bring balance back to their lives. Again, it's not putting hormones into you. Putting hormones into you, bad, because it causes your body to stop making hormones. That's why you should never really take hormones for any sort of heavy length of time, especially you guys out there that are maybe taking testosterone because you want to try to enhance your manliness. Just understand that your body stops producing testosterone when you do that. Not good. No. There's better ways to enhance your body, and that's what balance does. It enhances, ladies, specifically, it enhances your ability with these great 14 potent plant-based ingredients to kind of deal with this problem. It's a transdermal lotion. You just put a little bit on your wrist and then you just rub your wrist together and bada bing, bada boom, you're set for the day. Powerful product. Amaze is that collagen peptide. You got sagging skin, sore muscles, joint discomfort, lifeless hair. Even gives life to your skin. I told you guys about that friend of mine, that police officer, Laura. She's also talked about how people were noticing her skin. They're just like, we know, like, what is it with you? You look great. And so she was noticing that she was kind of glowing a little bit. And, it's not because she's pregnant. No, she was taking the peptides. This is hugely helpful for all the things. Collagen is all over the place in your body. It's one of the most important proteins that exists. This is a great way to get it into your system. And it's delicious too, by the way. And it's a liquid. And by the way, the one thing I do want to remind you is there's 15 pouches in the one pack. So if you want to take it every other day, it'll last you a month. If you want to take it every day, you got to get 2 of them. If you're going to be like my girlfriend and want to take 2 a day, you need 4 of them. She's lucky she knows me. That's all I can say. And again, I buy it through my site. I pay the same price you guys pay. It's what I pay. Prime is the energy. It's a nitric oxide booster. It helps expand your blood vessels, helps make you have more energy, period. It's incredible how it works. And of course, then we've got STEM Active for pets. Pets need stem cells too. Maybe they've been through a surgery. Maybe they've got something kind of not so good with them. Maybe they've got arthritis, hip dysplasia. A lot of these types of things can very much be helped with stem cells. Stem cells just help. They can go to any part of the body and become a cell for that and help kind of heal. That's what they do. So you can get some stem cells for your pets. And by the way, stem active for your pets, I should say. There's no stem cells in it. It helps your pet produce more stem cells themselves. But it is a powerful product, and it is significantly less expensive than the stem cells for ourselves. So it's impressive that way. But go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make sure you got these wonderful products. Healthy living, right? Healthy choices. When you're thinking healthy, when you're buying products that help you be healthy, when you make healthier choices in your life, you just become healthy. That's what manifesting health is. It's not about trying to get rid of a sickness. It's about doing healthy things. When you focus on what you would like to experience rather than what you don't want to experience, you'll actually find you're manifesting what you want instead of what you don't want. Powerful products. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. And make those healthy choices. It's going to make a big difference in the big picture. Appeals court's not going to let Justice Department step in for the Trump and E. Jean Carroll's $83 million verdict. They still are just trying to hold this one on Trump badly. Again, he can afford it, but he shouldn't. And E. Jean Carroll doesn't deserve it at all. This whole thing is just ridiculous. It's eventually going to get up, I think, higher than the appeals court somehow. There's just no way. And right now, the Justice Department, since Trump was acting as president when this thing supposedly happened, or at least when he got in trouble for it, basically the Justice Department's like, look, we ultimately should be paying this fine, not Trump. And the appeals court's like, no, you can't do that. It's kind of funny. Like, ultimately, wasn't it about getting the money to E. Jean Carroll? And they're like, nope, it's about taking the money from Trump. Whatever the case is. It's a crazy world. So we've got some of this. I don't think I'm going to get fired up, but this is one of the reasons why I get a little pissed off. So we got a lot of senators that are in Republican states that Trump has pulled back this green initiative funding. So there's all these different green projects in many red states that Trump's trying to cancel. And these red states don't want to give it up. And that's what's upsetting to me, right? They're too worried about trying to get the money for something that's not actually helpful, it's not actually going to benefit, it's not actually even as effective as many say. Especially the solar farms are stupid because you actually need sun, and first time you get a hailstorm, you have a major problem occur. Like, there's just a lot of issues with that. Wind is another one that's just not trustworthy, whatever. And so here's the thing I want to offer an olive branch to all these retarded senators. There's, I think, all but I think I found two of them so far that I kind of like. I got them right in here. Grassley was one of them. Proud of him. I forgot about Grassley. I felt bad when I was going off on the senators the other day. I'm like, Grassley's pretty good. I like him. Trump said good things about Hawley, but I'm not gonna join in on that at all. I'm gonna continue to slam Hawley every chance I get until he finally pulls his head out of his ass. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to tell, but we'll see. Not that you need to agree with me, but get rid of wind farm, battery farms, solar plants, storage facilities for clean energy, yada yada. Get rid of all that stupid shit. We don't want to pay for it. It's a waste of money. What you should do, or what you should consider, is this. We got this out. U.S. is going to build 3 small nuclear reactors by next 4th of July, Wright says. 3 small nuclear reactors. You want to bring power to your state? You want to help your state? You want to get some money to your state? Why don't you ask for one of these? Rather than some stupid project, ask for one of these. I don't have a problem with you getting money. I have a problem with you wasting money, stupid senators. That's what I have a problem with. I don't give a shit if it's supposed to go to your state. I get that. I'm in a state right now that's asking the federal government for gobs and gobs of money. And guess what? I support you guys not giving us a red cent. So do the right thing, senators. Stop being doucheholes. That's all. I'm not asking a lot. It's like telling a fish not to swim or telling a fish not to breathe. I mean, I guess I am asking a lot because senators are doucheholes. That's what they are by definition, with the exception of maybe 2. Whatever the case is, get some power in your state. Stop dicking around. Mega bill debt warning falling on deaf ears. This is one thing I'm very proud that's happening. Now, we got all these senators that are crying, oh no, we're going to go into debt even worse. Oh no. Based off of the GOP, what was it, the Congressional Budget Office. The CBO. The CBO is notoriously wrong. But every one of these doucheholes is going by the CBO's numbers. They're like, well, the CBO says this is going to raise the debt. Oh, and you're going to listen to them, the deep state component that you guys have that looks at everything that could potentially benefit us, and they're like, oh, it's going to make things worse. I don't think so. First off, I think Trump's bringing in so many trillions of dollars. There's no way that doesn't actually help our economy. That's not being registered in any of this. Any of it. The fact that we've thinned out government and we're paying less out for that, none of that's factored in. The CBO is just a freaking waste of time. They're full of shit. And that's actually what I think Senator Kramer's saying. He goes, it's a model. And obviously they've been famously wrong. We do have more debt now than we've had before for sure. But I think they grossly underestimate the economic benefits, right? And that's true. You give more money to the taxpayer, you and I, we spend more money. When we spend more money, that helps GDP. When we help GDP, that brings in more revenue, significantly more revenue. It's just kind of a proven formula. Trump knows what he's doing, and the CBO's just crap. Can't trust them. So that's where a lot of the people are like, this is going to raise our debt. Says who? Says the CBO? Get out of here. Get out of here. That's not happening. NIH grants $10 million study to health impact of East Palestine after the train disaster out there. I thought that was pretty cool. I think this is an example of a decent money expenditure. $10 million, not a huge amount of money. Study the impacts of this stupid train derailment? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's no way this isn't going to be bad. Health impacts, the water, the soil, just a lot of these things. This was a catastrophic disaster that happened on Biden's watch, of course. And Lord knows still what might have been on that train, or if they were just trying to screw things up. It did crash right by a river. I mean, there's just many aspects to that were very strange, but whatever. Grassley's probing withheld FBI records on alleged Chinese election interference. So there's some of these withheld records, and we've heard about that as well. They were trying to delete some records. So he's trying to dig into that, and you know the FBI is going to give them up because we got Kash Patel running the show now. And he declassified and shared a file with Grassley a day earlier. An action Grassley said arose from the senator's request for an intelligence information report from its Albany field office dated September 25th, 2020, according to the June 17th letter Grassley shared with the Epoch Times. In the letter, he directed to Patel, Grassley said that the intelligence report states it was recalled in order to re-interview the source. It also states recipients should destroy all copies of the original report and remove the original report from all computer holdings. Essentially, delete evidence. Another way to say it. Grassley's trying to dig in. Again, I dig that guy. John Fetterman's another one. I'm sorry. I know he's a Democrat. I actually like him. I like him. I like what he's doing. I like the fact that he's got the balls to stand up against his own party. That's what we need. We need people that are literally pro-America first. I guess if you want to be pro-Israel, that's fine. I don't really care about that. But he's pro-America. And he's about the right stuff, in my opinion. So, again, here's a dude that's going against the grain. I like that. I like it because it takes gumption to do it. So I don't say balls twice, right? Because that'd be weird. Here is Stephen Miller, talking about how Los Angeles mayor says her economy is dependent on vast criminal lawbreaking, and the federal government should ensure vast criminal lawbreaking continues forever. And he's like, we're not doing that.
You may have seen recently an FBI assessment that was unclassified that said that the Maduro regime is using and planning to use trained Nicaragua terrorists to carry out assassination plots on American soil. Now, very few in this room covered that. I'll let you all ask yourselves why you didn't cover it and why your editors didn't assign that story to you. Something I think you should think about on your own. But this is a earth-shattering piece of news. The Biden administration imported the terrorist army that our own FBI assesses is planning assassination strikes on American soil against critics of the Maduro regime. Those are the terrorists that President Trump is finding and apprehending that our Democrat judges and Democrat activists are trying to keep on U.S. soil. Trained Nicaragua has the same legal status as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. MS-13 has the same legal status as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. These are foreign terrorists operating on our soil. And our gratitude to El Salvador for agreeing to take custody of these terrorists is immense.
For sure. That's exactly what's going on there. Feds arrested a illegal alien sex offender who dragged an ICE agent with his car. This dude was a sex offender, and he was here illegally. Police officer tried to arrest him. He took off. Officer still had his arm inside the door, dragged him for 50 feet. The dude's been hospitalized, but he's going to make a full recovery. Needless to say, this Munoz individual is, he's going to be going back to his homeland. That's what he's going to be doing. Just in, the DOJ is suing Kentucky over policy offering discounted college tuitions for illegal aliens. Uh-oh, Kentucky. Now, this doesn't surprise me. If you look at who are the two senators for Kentucky, and that's also, isn't that where, who's the other one I don't like? It's Massey, isn't it? Yeah, Thomas Massey is also, I believe, from Kentucky, isn't he? We got Massey. We've got, what the hell, the dude married to the Chinese woman that used to be in charge. Mitch McConnell, he's from there. I feel like the other senator might be questionable too. Whatever the case is, this is the kind of nonsense happening in Kentucky. The suit alleges the law unconstitutionally discriminates against U.S. citizens not afforded the same privilege. Quote, no state can be allowed to treat Americans like second-class citizens in their own country by offering financial benefits to illegal aliens. End of story. We're not playing these games anymore. None. Zero. Any state, don't care if you're red or blue or in between, you're not allowed to do this anymore. Here's what's been going on at Portland. It's a peaceful protest. Again, when you use fireworks, you left peaceful at the door.
Fuck you!
So I kind of think you get the point, right? Yeah, that's not peaceful. That's far from peaceful. That is the last thing that peace ever even thought of. We've got sophisticated cross-border tunnel that was found linking San Diego to Tijuana, as they say. It's about 1,000 feet long. Pretty hardy size, about a fifth of a mile, this tunnel. I wonder what they were doing with it. Now, needless to say, there's lots of stuff like that. Pretty sure they're going to be using some of that scanning technology to find some of these things, too. You just wait. We've got a lot to clean up, and it will happen indeed. Gavin Newsom, he's trying to blame all the fires, the wildfires that we have, and the fact that he can't seem to put them out or deal with them. That's now Trump's fault. Why? Because Trump took his National Guard from them and used them to protect L.A. because they were destroying federal buildings. You fudger. What is Gavin Newsom's gonna? What's awesome about this is Gavin Newsom is being destroyed before our very eyes. And being a Californian, I'm so happy to watch it. It's a shame that we're gonna have to go through some pain in this state, but it feels so good watching this douchehole fall. Oh, it's so much fun. And Karen Bass, yes, Karen Bass, she's falling big time too. So again, change is coming. When we can finally get our elections fixed here, and I do understand there's some things in the background happening, but I just don't personally feel like it's fast enough. I think most of us feel like that with everything right now. But these things are going to happen. The paper ballots are going to be mandatory, and I think that's also coming. A lot of things are happening, and they're happening, I think, in the proper timing. I think there's a lot of realization into what they're going to do to try to slow it down and what they can do to try to stop it and what courts are going to try to make efforts. I think ultimately, in the end, federal elections are controlled by the federal government, and that's basically Trump. So there's not a whole lot they can do about federal elections. Hey, state elections, you want to cheat all you want? Go for it, right? Which they will. And that's our state senator, state house, all that, sure. They'll cheat those things, but they won't be able to cheat the major stuff. Senator that goes to the federal government, the House members that go to the federal government, those will change hands. And people will finally see how red this state actually is. California is a red state. Many don't believe it. I was talking about that with Mike Lindell yesterday when I had my little interview with him. Okay, I want to bring this back up again. MyPillow, great products. Couple things that are happening. One, this with God, all things are possible. This exclusive special, literally goes away Sunday. Goes away in 3 days. Done. No more. No mas. Right now, all you got to do is order one thing. And this thing you get free. You just got to pay I think it's like $2 in shipping, $3 in shipping, whatever, right? That's all you got to do. You just pay $2 for this thing. It's a roll and go. It's a 2.0. It's the new technology. It's very, very awesome. The Rev 7, incredible drink. Very good. I actually drank one of those before Mike yesterday. I kind of had it. I was showing it on camera a little bit too. And just delicious. A lot of energy. Like, it tripped me out kind of how it really does get you going. And it just, it doesn't feel like any other energy drink I've ever had. Like, I used to drink Rock Stars and stuff when I was younger. Those got you all jacked up. This just gives you energy. It's kind of cool. It's very cool how they work. And they're delicious. You can get a free 3-pack. You pay shipping once again is all you got to do. Free 3-pack. They'll give you one of each flavor. They're delicious. Again, the apple one's not my favorite. It tastes like a green Jolly Rancher. Many people love that flavor. That's exactly what it tastes like. It's very awesome green apple flavor. Just one of my least favorite flavors. The blue one's still my favorite, hands down. Lemonade's delicious. I bought a case of each of those. Yesterday I drank the blue one, and I'm like, this is so good. It's delicious. Towels, they got the best towels ever, whether it's a beach towel, whether it's their kitchen towels, whether it's their premium bath towels or just their regular bath towels. They are amazing. You will never, ever go to another towel once you've tried a MyPillow towel. They're amazing. Go to mypillow.com/OTF, mypillow.com/OTF. The Giza sheet deal, that's going away Sunday too. $49.98, any size. Doesn't matter if it's Crazy King or some weird-ass king or king in between kings or a Queenie King. I don't know. They got different ones, right? California King, right? But $49.98, Giza, it's high thread count, any color, any size, $49.98. That stops on Sunday as well. The closeout sale going on the Percale bed sheets. This also stops on Sunday. This is any color, any size, $29.98. After Sunday, twins start at $24.98, and they move up from there. I'm assuming queens will probably be around this price, and then kings will be more. If you got a bigger bed, you don't want to miss out on this. Get yourself some extra sheets. These are more like a summer sheet. These are more like, just nicer high thread count sheets. It's the ones I use all the time. I actually don't have any Percale sheets. I've never used them. Don't really know. I got the Giza sheets. I love them. In fact, I use this weird green color typically, and this color too. And the two colors. I'm not very exciting when it comes to colors. At least, when it comes to my sleeping, because I don't really care. That's the big part. Dog beds, the best. Oh, the best dog beds. If you love your dog, give them a MyPillow. This is what it is. It's a giant MyPillow for your dog. I mean, how can that go wrong? Never. Can't. And if you've got that old dog that won't get off the couch, dude, get a pet blanket. It's one of the best ways to go. $34.99. Great deal. They've also got the original MyPillow starting at $17.98. It's my favorite, personally. And they've got a whole bunch of different blankets, $25. We've got mattress topper, $99.99. And they got a whole lot of cool clearance stuff going on in here. A whole lot of cool stuff. I mean, yeah, the slippers are in here. They've got the towels. They've got clothes. Panjamas, as my girlfriend calls them. Again, more slippers. Look at that, $19.99 for these slippers. That's a great deal. I don't even put them on the front page anymore, which they almost should, right? Even want to get a Christmas stocking. They've got those. And the tree thing they're still selling. That's pretty awesome, right? So a lot of really, really great products. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had. Space Force is contracting with SpaceX for a new secretive MilNet SATCOM network. Military network. SpaceX is getting involved in this. I kind of, to a degree, this is part of the NRO, National Reconnaissance Office, I kind of think this is a big part of why, quote, Trump and Musk had a falling apart. Whether it was intentional or accidental, this works out to a large benefit, because if there is going to be any contracting work given to Elon Musk's companies, it shouldn't look like he's getting favoritism. Now, granted, SpaceX has been doing this stuff for us for a while. Nobody else can do it. We're going to talk about it. SpaceX had a very, very bad experience. I think it was yesterday, trying to launch another one of their Falcons, and it went kablooey on the platform. It didn't even get off the ground this time. That feels like a lot of steps backwards. Whatever the case was, yeah, it had an unplanned disassembly. I think something what they call it when they blow up in the sky. Whatever the case is, MilNet's onboarding to the United States Space Force through SSC, which is Space Systems Command right now, but specifically to Delta 8, and we are completely relooking at how we're going to operate that constellation of capabilities for the Joint Force, which is going to be significant because we've never had a DoD hybrid mesh network at LEO. I'm wondering how much, if they're going to be having these Delta 8s start talking to the MilNet satellites just below them as a means of kind of changing that communication, because bad apples have the codes, have the frequencies, already know how to read these satellites. So if they can get these satellites to communicate in a different way and maybe even change how they communicate, that actually might take the deep state out of a lot of the intelligence gathering that they used to have. I think this is a big thing. It's a $13 billion project over 10 years. Again, it's going to be great for SpaceX. It's going to be great for our country and our security. And so it's another movement in the right direction, I believe. Got a few things here where I believe we maybe played some of these yesterday. This certainly was when he had the soccer players in there, and so I know I played some stuff from this. If I replayed anything, I do apologize, but I think this and the next video both are just relevantly good information. Talking about Iran and the ceasefire and all the bullshit that's being put out there. Needless to say, here's a couple, I think, points that matter.
He said I was going back home to make a ceasefire. Not a ceasefire. We're long beyond ceasefire. And I said, why do you say that? Why would you say ceasefire? It's a bad term to use. Because a ceasefire means like everything's going swimmingly, we'll take a little time off. It's not. We're not looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for a total, complete victory. Again, you know what the victory is. No nuclear weapon.
Mr. President.
So I thought it was a very badly worded statement by him, and obviously I let him know that. He said,
well, because Macron's married to his babysitter, so, I mean, you can't expect a lot from the guy. Come on now. That's too much for him. Too much for him. And his babysitter smacked him in the face that one time on camera, which was hilarious. Needless to say, here's Trump talking about, what's this one? This one's talking about Tucker Carlson and all that nonsense.
Have you seen the Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz interview? It seems like this issue on whether or not the United States should strike is kind of dividing a lot of your supporters.
No, my supporters are for me. My supporters are America first and make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon. Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day because he thought he said things that were a little bit too strong, and I appreciated that. And Ted Cruz is a nice guy. I mean, he's been with me for a long time. I'd say once the race was over, he's been with me ever since, right? But very simple. If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me. But nobody thinks it's okay. People that don't want, I don't want to fight either. I'm not looking to fight. But if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. Maybe we won't have to fight. Don't forget, we haven't been fighting. We add a certain amount of genius to everything, but we haven't been fighting.
Now, I think this is a big part of what I call the PsyOp. He's telling everyone, he's like, look, we don't want to get involved. We're not planning on getting involved. We might have to. I mean, you know, but of course, we always have plans. There's a plan for everything. There's a plan for the plan for the plan. I mean, there's always a plan. They've got plans. They've planned out every conceivable scenario, minus a few of the ones that'll probably sneak through. But for the most part, the Pentagon's pretty amazing when it comes to their ability to plan. So intentionally, we're telling the world, look, we don't want to get involved, but if we have to, we're going to. Now, everybody's saying, oh, if he drops a bomb, I'm out. Forget it. If Trump, like Iran, the Arab world, if Trump gets involved, then that's going to cause the rest of the Arab world to get involved. Or that's going to cause Iran to start attacking U.S. targets. Russia's even like, look, you guys better not get involved, right? Let this stay between Israel and Iran, and we'll be happy. So whatever the case is, there's still a lot of questions whether or not our bombs will actually be able to penetrate far enough. Now, I still think there's something to be said about that. We will talk about that a little further. Here's Carolyn Levitt basically giving Trump's statement as of today in regards to Iran.
Regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today. So we'll kick it off for questions here in our new media seat. We have Eli Lake from Guarding.
So he's giving a time frame in the next 2 weeks. That's powerful. That freaks people out. That gets people in the stock market worried. They start writing on their calendar, all right, here's the day that Trump's going to blow them up. I think there's way something else going on. I very much think Trump's like moving the hand around over here, and meanwhile his left hand's doing some other crazy stuff, and you can't even see it because it's off camera, right? But he's got his right hand's like, hey, look, whoa, 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 right? And he's got his left hand off doing something else. It's intentional. A lot of people are talking about us getting involved. Now, we might. I'm not saying we're not gonna. And I'm not saying I want us to, for that matter. I'm not pro-war by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, quite the opposite. But I do understand that there are times where you got to punch the bully in the face. I get that. Sometimes that is the best answer. So we're at a place right now where we're seeing a lot of people come out of the shadows. We're seeing a lot of people that were pro-Trump that are now very anti-Trump. And we get to see, once again, who's who. Tucker Carlson, I think, being one of the people that's sort of showed himself. Again, people love Tucker. But I've been a little reticent with him just always. I mean, he's done a good job. I don't have any sort of dislike towards the man. I don't know. He's doing what he thinks is right. And this has been one of the big awakenings for me, I guess, kind of lately, is that there's a lot of people I very much disagree with, but I realize, okay, they're speaking to their audience, right? My audience is not necessarily all these people's audience, and I'm not necessarily the people they want to listen to. Like, I'm not necessarily the person they want to listen to that are listening to Tucker on a regular basis. I'm not necessarily that guy for them, right? So I get it. I get it. We've got our own people, and we're all doing our best to help who's in our little group, right? Or big group in some cases. So again, it's going to be an interesting time, and it's going to be, I think, a lot of fun to watch how this plays out. I've heard a lot of saber rattling, but Iran's getting their asses handed to them. They are running out of launchers, that's for sure. But we're also running out of anti-missile missiles, unquestionably. So is Israel. They're running out of missiles. They can't produce them fast enough. Iran's still got a grip of them. And they continue to do extraordinary damage to Israel. Now, does that mean we just run in with nukes? No. In fact, that is one of the funny things they've talked about. The bunker buster might not be able to get in all the way. I think we're going to play it. The only thing that might work is tactical nukes. What I don't understand about that is tactical nukes aren't necessarily more capable of penetrating further into the ground. You hit the top of a mountain with a nuke, and the subterranean stuff is built to withstand a nuclear blast. What are you doing? You're just making a nuke. You're making a mess. You're putting radiation all over the place. You're not helping. You're not. How does that drill in further? Now, I would assume it's possible these bunker busters come in a nuclear variety, which when they go boom, they go much bigger boom, and thusly could accomplish more with the same technology. Hard to say. We'll see. But U.S. intel has no evidence of Iran building nuclear weapons, says top Democrat. Now, this is somebody in the intelligence community, or intelligence, what do they call it, committee? The national intelligence. Now, again, Tulsi Gabbard said they weren't doing this. This Democrat says they weren't doing this. But what that tells me is the general intelligence agencies out there that are probably not fully controlled by us are telling everybody that Iran doesn't have the ability to do this. They had a reactor that Israel just recently hit, by the way, and they were claiming that it was, back in 2003 or whatever the hell, they filled it with cement. No, they didn't. So again, a lot of this intelligence I have huge questions about, and I actually think Trump's got access to some other intelligence that I'm betting Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have. It's probably why Trump says, I don't care what she says. I know differently. And there are many that I think do know differently. Whatever the case is, they're trying very hard to make it seem like, no, Iran's not a threat. And I don't think Tulsi's guilty on this. Don't misread what I'm saying about her. I think she's telling us what she knows. Nothing else, right? You can't be like, well, the intelligence says they don't have a weapon, but I feel like they do. You can't do that. Trump, on the other hand, has access, I think, to some stuff Tulsi doesn't. That's what I think. I think maybe it's Space Force. I don't know. There's still some separations that I think where they have not tied in some of these intelligence agencies into others for good reason. So this is the push they're doing. Yeah, there it is. Vice Chairman of the Intelligence Committee, Democrat Senator Mark Warner. He's the one that's like says, no, they don't have any evidence Iran is pursuing nuclear weapons. They've literally told us they are. They've told us they are. They told us they'll use nuclear weapons on us. They told us they won't stop their nuclear program. Don't know how much more they need to do. But they're saying, oh, there's no evidence to say they're pursuing this other than their words. You can't trust their words. They lie. Really? Liar, Democrat, senator? I can't trust you, that's for sure. You're a friggin' senator. There's possibly two of you I sort of trust right now, I think, kind of trust. Most of them I don't. Don't trust them at all. I used to trust a few of them, but again, it's been interesting how things have played out lately, and I've started to get the joy of seeing who's who are the war hawks, who are the ones that, hate Trump, who are the ones that are, oh no, we want a bunch of green deals in our state. What are we going to do? We're not going to have the money. You shut up and try to figure out a way to get other money for your state, you idiot. Oh, my God. Not nearly as angry as I was that one time. Man, I was watching some X. I had to get off of X yesterday. I was actually sharing some stuff. I was being the most active I think I've ever been on X. I think I probably shared like 5 posts, including the one I put up every day, right? I was like, holy crap. And then I was digging down and you're scrolling down and you're like, duh, I've seen things that were pissing me off. And I was starting to think like really angry thoughts. I was like, whoa, this is not good. Nuh-uh. And this is one of the reasons why I hate social media, because it generally tries to emotionally impact you. X is doing the same thing. It tries to get you emotionally impacted. I friggin' hate social media. Hate it. I dislike it. I swear. Anyway, Pakistan's Navy's new maritime navigation warning issued for the Gulf of Oman around the incident where the Front Eagle. This is a 1,100-foot super tanker. This is the one that collided with the Adeline, that dark tanker, the one that's on fire. I suppose there's 3 of them on fire in the Gulf right now, but whatever. Strait of Hormuz tanker collision. It's caused a 10-square-mile oil spill. This is not cool. Again, this will clean up in time, but it will kill a lot of fish. It will kill a lot of things. It will create a lot of mess. It's certainly not good for our ecology. It's not good for our environment. It's really going to hurt this part of the world tremendously. And it's not the last one. That's the unfortunate part. Yeah, this fire is just nasty. All right? So this thing's leaking oil like bad. I mean, I guess you can't be too surprised considering how on fire it is. Good Lord. And then you got all your environmental people that hate oil already, and they're like, and they're putting off all this greenhouse gases. Oh. Crazy. Missile causes extensive damage to Israeli hospital. IDF bomb IDF bombs the inactive Iranian reactor, the one that they said they're not using for nefarious purposes. Well, okay, good. It's now destroyed. So there's that. Supposedly it was modified back in the 2015 nuclear deal to make it incapable of producing weapons-grade plutonium. Again, hate me for not trusting them, but Apparently the largest hospital in the southern Israel reportedly received extensive damage after suffering a hit from an Iranian ballistic missile. Now, what I do understand from a different story that I don't have here, just because I didn't want to double up on stories of the same basic thing, they somehow evacuated this hospital the day before. I don't understand that at all. They somehow knew it was going to be attacked, or why? Maybe because it was too close to where, I don't know. I have no idea. It seems strange to me. So what Iran's saying is they're like, look, we don't strike hospitals. And it's like, well, you did, though. And they're like, we didn't do it. We didn't strike a hospital, is what they're saying. Israel suggests the Ayatollah will be eliminated for the Iranian strike on the hospital. Israel Defense Minister Israel Katz likened Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei to Adolf Hitler. That's what everybody loves to call everybody. At least in the case of the Jews, that makes more sense rather than the way we like to throw it around over here. But he's likening him to Hitler following the missile strike on Soroka Medical Center in, Jesus, really? How do you say Beersheva? Beersheva? I don't know how to say that. So, suggesting the Israel Defense Forces will now move to eliminate the Grand Ayatollah. I wonder, were they just looking for a reason to go after him? I don't know. A lot of this doesn't feel right. I don't know if it's false flag. I'm not going to go that far. Could be. Who knows? But Iran's attack, part of a barrage of approximately 50 missiles, fortunately caused minimal injuries as the building had been evacuated. I do have the story. Cool. So Israeli nuclear site is going to face crushing blows. The official said Iran's response follows. The Quranic advice on retaliation and warned that Iranian forces would respond to any attack, let's try that again, that they warned that Iranian forces would respond to any extent and wherever the regime attacks Iranian soil. He noted, however, that based on Iran's moral principles, there would be no attacks on hospitals. Now they're going to pull the moral card on us? The Iranian deep state leadership is going to pull the moral card? Ayatollah? The king of terrorism? Granted, now from their standpoint, they're fighting the devil. In our standpoint, we're fighting the devil. Kind of funny how that works, isn't it? Both of us think the other side's the devil. Mm-hmm. Religion's a funny thing, actually, folks. It's a very funny thing. And in fact, it's been utilized as an extreme excuse to do all sorts of horrible things. So the Zionist regime claims that Iran attacked one of the hospitals in the occupied territory, and they're saying it's completely false. This is what they're saying, even though we have a damaged hospital that somehow got damaged by a missile. Okay, must have come from somewhere, right? You moral Iranians, or well, let me say that better. You moral, what is it? The Khomeini, whatever, right? Moral Ayatollah, moral president, moral. What are their forces called? I forget. Whatever the case is, the bad ones, right? Because the Iranian people, for the most part, are starting to rise up. We had a lot of places where some of the girls were taken off there with hijabs or whatever they call it, and they were basically celebrating and daring the regime to come in and do anything. And Israel's done a very good job at blowing up a lot of the things that the Iranian regime would use to control its people. It seems freedom is coming, but how this plays out is going to be interesting. Now, here is a good little article, even though I don't think my good friend Tiffany's here. Whatever. But they're talking about the bunker buster bombs and it require U.S. intervention. Again, they keep pushing this angle. For some reason, I feel like this is misdirection on purpose. Not totally sure why. I don't think I have enough information to be accurate on that, and probably best I don't, frankly. But listen to this.
Buried 260 feet beneath a mountain lies the Iranian regime's Fordow. The uranium enrichment facility is Tehran's second largest, but destroying it would require massive ordnance, the kind only the United States possesses. Center for a New American Security fellow Carlton Haylig explains.
First, it's penetrating hard and deeply buried targets. Think something like a bunker or a facility that's built within a mountain. And these are also timed within the fuses of the weapons so that they don't explode immediately upon impact.
This is the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, commonly known as a bunker buster.
The GBU-57, which is the massive ordnance penetrator that's being discussed heavily in terms of American involvement in Iran, can actually penetrate up to 200 feet before detonating its ordnance.
Each GBU-57 weighs 30,000 pounds. According to Haylig, the bomb is the best option for penetrating targets like Fordow.
In the case of the massive ordnance penetrator, it is the only weapon in anyone's arsenal globally that's able to successfully target and potentially even eliminate facilities like Fordow.
Haylig explains that the GBU-57 was designed for other U.S. adversaries, but it's never been used in combat.
Initially, that was in terms of North Korea, later expanded to target sets including Iran as well. And even then, it's not a guarantee that one or even two of these weapons would be able to successfully take Fordow offline.
Despite its destructive power, a singular GBU-57 wouldn't be enough to destroy Fordow.
The Air Force actually has, as part of their kind of operational concept for attacking targets such as Fordow, would actually plan to use several of these munitions deployed through several aircraft.
Haylig elaborates, painting a picture of what a Fordow bombing mission could look like.
So it wouldn't just be a single munition dropped or even two from one airplane. It would be multiple strikes kind of barrowing down into that target set over time, kind of drilling down towards the target.
Haley adds that, despite the bomb's destructive capabilities, there's no guarantee they'll be able to hit the facility. Andrew.
Now, two things that jump out at me is, I guess I'm going to speculate a little bit here. Again, some weaponry we are sort of aware of, only vaguely, but it doesn't ever get talked about. So two thoughts. Rod from God, if it literally was some sort of way that we could drop a kinetic weapon, heavy, very heavy and very, very dense kinetic weapon onto that site from, I don't know, like space or close to that or whatever. I mean, even if we launched one from a rocket like SpaceX and made it look like a SpaceX launch happened, release one of these tungsten rods of some kind, and then get that to end up on top of this thing, it might start the hole so bombers could go in, or even maybe even Israeli bombers. So that's one possibility. And the other, this stuff's all metallic. Metal doesn't like microwaves. We have energy weapons. We have directed energy weapons. We have probably some in space. This would be an opportune time to use some of that technology. So it would not be too terribly difficult to possibly ruin this inner self, if you will, with that kind of technology too. And again, I'm doubtful that there are not enhancements to the bunker buster that we're not necessarily aware of at this point. I have a hard time believing that, because that bunker buster technology that we've been talking about, the specific bomb, it's old. It's been around a while. Granted, they've made some adjustments to it over time, and they're extraordinarily expensive, and they've been paying lots of money to keep them up to date. Who's to say we haven't come up with some other cool stuff? So, I don't know. Part of me just thinks there's something that we don't know. And there's a bunch of shit we don't know, frankly, but definitely something in this regard. And they've got everybody assuming one thing. That's why it's a PsyOp, for sure. They've got us pushed in a direction. Oh, it must be this. Oh, you can't fight them. You can't get involved, U.S. You won't even know if we get involved, frankly, is what Trump's thinking. You won't even know if we get involved. Trust me. Israel kills dozens of Iranian military leaders by bombing a hideout. It's kind of funny. I think we talked about this already, but these guys went into a special mountain hideout. Israel's just waiting for them to do that, and then they hit that guy with some bunker busters and took out a whole bunch of baddies. So that was good stuff. Putin reveals pitfalls of potential meeting with Zelensky. This is very interesting. So what he's saying is Zelensky has overstayed his welcome in that he should have given up his presidency or at least had another election. Zelensky's like, look, we're in the middle of a war, so we can't, right? And what Russia is saying, or Putin specifically, is like, well, look, if that's the case, fine, then you can negotiate with us, Zelensky, but you are legally not allowed to be the one to sign. And that's what they want. They want to figure out who's the person that's going to sign. So Zelensky insists that he has the right to remain in office, even though the Ukrainian constitution calls for the transfer of presidential powers to the Speaker of Parliament. That's who should sign. So Russia's got a good point going on here, and Zelensky is definitely not what he claims to be. So these things are falling apart all over the place right now. Erdogan vows fully independent defense industry amid Israel-Iran conflict. He is now going to start building his own weapons, I think, rather than probably buying them from Iran from one standpoint, and then probably Russia too. But Turkey they're like, no, we want to start making our own stuff. So that's cool. Get on it. Turkey's a formidable country, by the way, and hopefully stays our friend. Turkey's a powerful nation, though, unquestionable. Japan's Nippon Steel finalizes its U.S. steel buyout, so this has all been finalized. That's kind of good news. Stupid Powell does not cut rates as expected, despite diminished uncertainty. Now, of course, they're talking about worse stagflation. I think this is all intentional. I really, really do. They are intentionally bringing down the Fed. Whether Powell is on it intentionally, doubtful, or Trump keeps manipulating the situation by telling Powell what to do. Every time he tells Powell what to do, Powell is certainly going to do the opposite. It's brilliant what Trump is doing. He's forcing the Fed into a corner. And then once things break, he can blame the Fed. Now, I've said it before, it's got to break reasonably bad. How bad's bad enough? You tell me. You speculate. Does it have to drop 25%? And we're talking the stock market. Does it have to drop 25%? Do we have to suddenly have treasuries die? What is the thing that's going to be really bad for our economy? How bad does it have to be? Now, Trump's doing all the right stuff to protect us after. He's bringing in all sorts of investment. He's bringing in all sorts of new technology, new industry, new manufacturing. He's doing everything that needs to happen, except that's still a year plus out when it comes to building factories and crap like that. This is intended to happen. They're intentionally bringing down the Fed. Again, to get the Fed out, we have to prove that they've failed to do what they're supposed to do. If they fail to do what they're supposed to do, we can then remove the Fed. Trump wants to get the Fed out. Jackson was the last president to do it. Trump loves Jackson. This is what we're heading into. China auto industry. It's just funny. Yesterday, there was a story talking about how, well, China's electric vehicle, which was the BYD, right? This new electric vehicle, it's destroying everybody's electric vehicle market right now because China makes such a good electric vehicle, ha, 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 and they dropped all their prices. Well, the reality of it is it's not working out like that. They've dropped all their prices. People still aren't necessarily buying them. China's got this battery market. They're going out of business now because they can't afford to make the batteries and having China give away the cars at lower prices. They're in a huge problem in China. China is not this major dragon that we need to be afraid of right now. They're going through, just like the rest of the world, major financial difficulties, especially as this transition occurs. China's antimony export restrictions stun U.S. battery makers. They put this block on last year. I'm assuming this is one of the precious metals or whatever that they're trying to work out a deal. But China right now is keeping this from the rest of the world, and this is a very important element in the manufacturing of the batteries. We'll see what happens. Fed officials forecast higher rates and higher inflation, right? They're still talking higher inflation, even though the inflation right now is really low. Now, they're all sure that tariffs are going to be what causes the inflation. Again, our Fed doesn't know what the shit they're doing. There hasn't been tariffs since the Fed's come into play. We had tariffs before the Fed. Since the Fed, we haven't. We have IRS, we have taxes. That's how they get money. That's what they're used to talking about. They're not used to tariffs. Tariffs are messing up everything with the Fed as well as gold. We've talked about that before as well. Stock market not doing great. Was down a little bit. It's been kind of up and down all day, frankly. It started high and then it dropped in a little. Don't know what changed their mind. It's always some stupid news story came out. NASDAQ's all over the place. Right? VIX is supposedly going down, which is, I think, higher confidence. Gone down a little bit, but I think the VIX is kind of a stupid number anyway. Gold, I don't know, 33.87. It's getting back down to that 33.50 number, but it was up to almost 45 again, or 35, sorry. A lot of expectation that things are going to go higher than that, that's for sure. Just want to remind you guys, you don't want to be in the system. You don't want to be in it when it collapses. You don't want to be, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the government's going to guarantee it. No, it won't. We don't have any money. There's no guarantees. Now, if you got a pension, I kind of feel bad for you. Hopefully some of that comes back. We'll see, but there's going to be a hit. A lot of state pensions are involved, a lot of bankruptcies. I mean, when you talk about unfunded liabilities, it's insane amounts of money. There's not enough money in the world to pay our unfunded liabilities. Pensions, I think, I've heard numbers that are like the hundreds of trillions. Like we don't have that much money, period. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, you at least have the opportunity to get the frick out and do it tax-free, penalty-free, and in a way that's actually going to protect your wealth. That's what's powerful about precious metals. They protect your wealth. The value of that precious metal continues to go up as inflation goes up. That's the beautiful thing. And our monetary system is based off of inflation. It's based off of debt. Your dollar is worth less and less and less every year. Now, that varies how quickly it becomes worth less, but it's worth less no matter how you slice it. The way we do currency is not good, is not right. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Let my good friends at Goldco help you out. Tax-free, penalty-free. Up to 10% of free silver given to you on this sweet deal. Also a chance to get that Ronald Reagan collector's coin. I think if you've got a qualifying 401k or IRA, I think they send that to you just if you can call within 20 minutes when you put in your 4 data points. That's not a bad deal. It's like an $18 coin, and it's super cool. It's one of my favorite things to touch. I love touching silver, and I love the sound. I love that sound. I don't know what it is. Love that sound. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday halted and ordered a review of all new clinical trials that include sending American cells to hostile nations for genetic engineering purposes. Literally, our FDA was sending your cells to China and other places so they could do studies on them, to do whatever they want to help with infectious disease. Yeah, that's not happening anymore. It's done. It's been blocked, thank God. Germany's mildly restrictive immigration policies are starting to pay off. So we got an actual reduction in some of the immigration that's happening in Germany. And a lot of it, again, has to do with the conservative movement. The conservative movement has done more to help spur the proper movement in our countries than anything else has yet. And so, again, that's why they're trying to make them criminals. It's what they were trying to do here in the United States before Trump, right? They were trying to make all of us criminals. Exactly. That's changing. Air India crash response stokes some frustration. They're just pissed. They don't have an answer. We're like a week past it, and they still don't really know anything more. I don't disagree. Part of me wonders, are they just trying to be good to Boeing? But I don't know. I mean, the one thing that I want to keep saying, and this has happened on a few of these crashes where they've had engine failure or engine problems, that's not Boeing's fault. Boeing has nothing to do with the engines. Nothing. In fact, when you buy a Boeing plane, you choose which engines you want. When you want to go with Rolls-Royce, you want to go with GE. I don't know if there's some other ones, but those are the general two that I'm aware of. You choose. It's a separate company. They make the motors. Boeing makes the plane. That's how it works. So if the motors failed and the plane crashed, it's not necessarily Boeing's fault. In fact, it looks like Boeing's plane did what it was supposed to. Its RAT, the ram air turbine, popped out like it's supposed to try to save their lives. Didn't work. Sad, but yeah. Something's up there. We'll find out more as we go. Elon Musk rips Trump's personnel director, Sergio Gore. Calls him a snake. So he's still trying to, fight with Trump. Now, this one was fun to me because apparently Musk was trying to get one of his buddies nominated into the controlling rank at NASA. Basically put him in charge of NASA. He wanted his buddy, Jared Isaacman, to lead NASA. Now, that's the thing. I feel like Musk has been trying to do all of this because Musk was looking out for his own interests, his own companies, and I get that. But at the same time, that was the problem that was presented when he and Trump were becoming buddy-buddy. Now it's like, I can't even give you deals because everybody's going to assume it's because we're buddy-buddy. It needs to go to the best contractor. It needs to go to the best bidder. That's how it works. So I think it's interesting that he's pissed off at this individual who supposedly kept his buddy Isaacman out. But that's probably because someone close to Musk shouldn't probably be leading that agency. That's probably why. It would look bad. Optically, it would be a problem. So it's not happening. Elon Musk's Starship had a wee bit of a problem, it seems, and went kablooey. It's another way to say it.
Probably. I mean, even the other day when they... Whoa!
Whoa! What? That's
no!
Oh my God. It appears there has been a
Ship 36 just blew up. I mean, even the other day when they... Whoa! What?
So I actually have a really good... Just hit me right now. Just hit me right now, folks. Watching this. All we got to do, Elon Musk, I need you to launch a Falcon Heavy. And I want you to launch it across the world and then land it right on whatever that site is, Fudao, whatever that shit it's called, right? Land it right on there. Hit it with that explosion. Boom, right? It's not nuclear. Trump didn't do it. It was an accident, right? Let's call it that. An accident. Huh? No? Maybe? Okay. I'll bet you money that stupid penetrator bomb costs more than one of these starships. $500 million is what I had heard. Holy shizzle. That's a bunch. The CEO of OpenAI is backing Trump's Stargate project. This is, I think, the AI development thing they're trying to do. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has openly praised Donald Trump as his ambitious $500 billion artificial intelligence infrastructure project, Stargate. The initiative, which was unveiled in January, has already drawn $100 billion in investments from companies such as OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle. These funds are being directed towards the construction of a massive data center designed to support energy-intensive AI models. The new world is coming. The building of the new world's coming, which is going to enhance our economy tremendously. The little crash has to happen first. It does. Has to. We got to get the Fed out. There's no way around it. Hopefully the rest of the world can do the same. We're probably going to lead the way, but it is going to happen. Trump just signed an executive order extending the deadline for the TikTok closing for another 90 days. We talked about how he was going to do that. It's now official. So any of you TikTokers, you're probably happy. And finally, drunk Southwest passenger who grabbed a woman's hair in a meltdown is apparently a New York City artist who works with Steve Madden, Adidas, and maybe it's Maybelline, right? This chick is the artist here, but she was the one that was beating up on this lady, pulling her hair, and then she was on the ground and she was kicking this poor lady. I mean, first off, if I would have been this chick, I'm pretty sure I would have punched that Biswell right in the face. I'm surprised her boyfriend didn't, for that matter. Or at least try to, I mean, it would have been assault. He would have gotten in trouble, but you're attacking me at this point. I am now allowed to defend myself. And this, she says some horrible stuff. This is a horrible, horrible woman. And she was wasted, by the way. Wasted. And the best part of the video, best part of waking up, is after she fell asleep, frankly, because they wheeled her out. She wasn't moving anymore. It didn't look like she was fully strapped down, but she had medical personnel and cops with her. I'm reasonably sure she got sedated. Whoops. Not good. Not good if you want to be her. A lot going on, folks. It's going to happen. It's going to happen the right way. They're going to try to lead us in all sorts of directions. Speculation is the most useless thing we can do right now, and I hate being the one to say it because I love speculating with everybody else. I really, really do. Problem is, a lot of people speculate. They don't have any truth to base it off of, and then they make judgments based off of no information, right? I'm assuming something's going to happen, and now I'm going to judge Trump for it. I don't like Trump anymore because he's going to attack Iran. We don't know that. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. This is not going to play out how I think most people think. I think it's intentionally leading us in a direction. That's what PsyOps do. That's what has consistently happened. And Trump is a freaking master at 5D chess. Have some faith, folks. Believe that we got the right person in there, because look at how hard we fought to do it. Look at how hard they tried to keep him out. Don't let go of this dude yet. That's insane. We're changing the world. We are winning, and we're going to continue to win. And we're going to do it together, shoulder to shoulder. Where we go one, we freaking go all, baby. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.